Welcome to Singled Out, your ninth best gaming podcast. Please stand by.
Welcome to episode 123. In this episode, Andrew and Bryce talk about the brand new captain, veteran Captain Dirge.
Welcome to episode 123 of Singled Out. With me today I have Bryce Johnston.
Hello. How's it going?
We're here to discuss a newly designed Guild Ball captain.
Yeah, this is a fan-made model, I believe, from the Guild Ball Community Project guys.
Seeing as we're all fans, I guess we all made it.
Yeah, that was it. We all helped. Everyone helped. Yeah.
So it's been a while since the new model's been designed, and it's good to see it's kept with these additions of basically being pretty well designed from the outset. Yeah,
I mean, definitely, I can see some really good things on this card, like really interesting design space, actually, that I honestly sort of wish we'd explored more of back when I got a chance to, when I was working on Guild Ball.
You're not anymore, are you?
No, sadly.
Should have said something.
Yeah, sorry, I know this is the first time I've ever mentioned it, but no, I'm not working on Guild Ball anymore.
So, veteran Captain Dirge, 40 mil base, 8-10 movement, attack 7.
Oh, wait, sorry, one second, there's someone at my door now.
I'm forced in our pad now. I'm going to carry on talking about the card while he's gone. So, veteran Captain Dirge, he's got 8-10 movement, attack 7, kick 4-7, defense 4, armor 2, influence 5-4. So quite a solid stat range there. 8-10 movement with flying still. Banging in the background there as Bryce goes to the door is very good. As well as tack 7 makes him pretty strong. Now, I like how it's got tack 7.
Did you just keep doing the episode?
Yeah, I'm still doing it. I don't need anyone else anymore. I can carry on doing it.
Gone mad with power.
Seamless. First of all, I like how it's got a brewer playbook where it's got a 5-on playbook and tack 7. Seems pretty strong, that.
Well, I mean, naturally that is obviously very strong because it means he can wrap super easily to the 2 damage on 1 and also the playbook result, what do you call it? Playbook symbol result. I've completely forgotten the name for that. Look at that. It's been barely any time and I've already forgotten all of the terms. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty strong. And obviously, even if you don't wrap, you've got the pie on the top column.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get to pie in a minute, 'cause that's quite an important result there, really. First of all, I mean, even though he's got a 5-on playbook, I mean, to balance it out, he's only got a momentous 2 on 1 hit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, I would have personally liked to see a 3 if I were doing it, because that is the one of the only 2 damage results in his playbook. So like,
Yeah,
really has to wrap to do any damage. Really, I mean,
pretty
it's momentum
much.
to do otherwise, isn't it?
He's
Like,
barely going to
it's
kill anything like
pointless.
that. I mean, he's definitely a striker with his 4-7 kick there.
Hmm. Hmm. And I
Um,
like the 7-inch kick because that was something Perkins would never let me do. When I was making the game, was put in kicks that weren't like 4, 6, 8. Because I really thought it would be interesting to do kicks of like 5 inches, 7 inches, or even 9 inches. And we did that to an extent with like Football Legend and stuff. But I think just printing a 7 on the card is kind of a really
well, I
interesting
think we
thing.
can all
And
agree that's basically one of the reasons why the game was killed off, because Perkins' hatred of odd numbers
Mhm,
really
mhm.
didn't help it at all. So,
Yeah, certainly one thing I can say for true is that you would never have, we would never have created this card with Perkins in charge.
he's got a knockdown on 3 hits. So it's a pretty high up there. So really not going to achieve it very often.
I mean, yeah, on tax 7, he's getting it like half the time against
Yeah.
a one, right? Like
Um,
it's okay,
Double tackle,
always good.
always good.
Gets around close control, yeah, like
Um,
really useful.
I like how he's got a non-momentous knockdown on 4 hits.
Well, sometimes you don't want to generate momentum.
Sometimes
Like,
you want to get, rather than getting the mom knocked down on 3 hits, you want to get the non-mom on 4. Just to, if you're winning too
well,
hard, if you win too much, it's not very fun as a game.
well, I think it's partially, yeah. So sometimes you just want to give your opponent a chance, and also sometimes like what if you're playing against Obulus, and you don't want to give Obulus momentum that you can steal with his legendary,
Um,
right?
yeah, and that makes sense really. It's good that veteran Captain Dirge has anti-obvious tech there
Yeah,
for that Mortician's mirror match.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very Mortician-y to bring specific anti-Mortician tech and Morticians.
Exactly, and let's go on to his pie damage. So first of all, I'm glad that Guild Ball's finally bringing in irrational numbers into Guild Ball, so numbers that basically never really end.
I would say that there has been, while irrationality has always been a part of Guild Ball design, um, irrational numbers is part that we hadn't explored yet, and I think it's incredibly interesting and a really interesting design space
Hopefully they carry it on.
to
Hopefully
explore.
at some point they'll have I as well. Everyone knows is the square root of -1 on a card at some point.
Yes, I knew that.
It's a math stroke there. Steve worked out that because of his pie damage, if someone has 25 boxes, it's only 8 swings to knock them out rather than 9.
That's a really smart call.
So it's pretty strong.
Yeah, and it's obviously for those very specific games where you do have models with 25 boxes exactly. Like, I think it's yeah. I think I love seeing the pi symbol on there. I would have liked to see an omega, just to keep with the Morticians theme. But I think the pi damage is a really strong result.
Yeah.
And I don't know how often he's going to be using it because he's obviously a striker. And I think the triple dodge, triple push on the fifth column as well. I think that's going to be a much more common result that you're going to see taken.
Yeah,
But
but on 5 hits, though, with Tax 7 charging, he's barely going to get it, so.
yeah, I mean, hardly ever, quite
Hardly ever,
frankly.
yeah, I think
Like,
so.
yeah. So having the pi damage is like a pull out of the bag result.
What's question
It's
here
going to be
for
really
you?
cool.
If someone's got Tough Hide and he hits them with Pi and he does to them 2.141 damage, how do you mark on the 0.14 on the dots?
You have to take the pen and just very, very carefully take out exactly 0.14 of a health dot.
So if someone's taken down to 0, are they still alive then? Because they've got like a bit left.
Yeah, if they're on 0.5, yeah, they're still alive. That's yeah,
That's pretty strong. It's pretty strong for them then.
or 0.86, I guess.
So that's kind of is that
more
kind of a
likely.
nerf for Dirge then, or is it better for Dirge? Well, I guess he's going to do more damage, isn't he? Overall, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's going to do more damage overall. Like it's chipping away. It's better than
It's
3
chip
damage,
isn't it?
obviously,
Hits
but
them
it's
a lot
not
of
as good
times.
as it's not as good as 4 damage.
No,
obviously,
that'd be
like,
OP.
but 4 damage wouldn't really be okay on the. And this is a really interesting thing that we often ran into when we're designing Guild Ball models, where sometimes you'd be like, I wish, like, 3 is too low here, but 4 is too high.
Yeah, and
and we always,
you're not sure how to do
we
it, are
always
you?
had to, we always had to just pick one and be like, that's either a bit
And
good
because of
or a bit
Perkins, again,
bad.
he wouldn't like to have half numbers in the character card, would he?
Yeah, exactly. They wouldn't have let us. Really wouldn't have let us do this before. So I think it's a really fantastic example of the Guild Ball community project jumping on things and aspects of Guild Ball that could have been explored more and weren't. So I think that's really, really interesting.
I mean, he's going to have problems staying alive. He's only got 9 boxes. Sorry, nine and three-quarter boxes.
Nine and
sorry.
3/4,
Well, so arguably, if he gets hit by point damage, it's going to hurt him a bit more. But his 4-2 armor is okay, but with his 9 and 3/4 damage, hit point size.
4-2 armor is really strong, but obviously he's very weak to things like alchemists that do damage without hitting you on the playbook, and any sort of AoE effects. So he does have to really be careful there. I also like that his recovery level is not on 4 and 4.4-ish. It's on 6, which is nice. So he does come back. He does get a little bit of extra health if he gets taken out and comes back. So that's kind of interesting.
So let's go through his character plays then. So a bit like the Falconers there, he's got kind of Fog of War plus an AoE, and people under the AoE gets +3 attack.
Yeah, well, when attacking a model in the AoE, so positioning is going to be really important there. And this is obviously one of those plays that can kind of work for your opponent if you don't plan around it properly. Because if you attack someone in that AoE and say Dirge goes with 10 dice on someone in the AoE, then if you don't knock them down, like if your dice go a bit bad or if you don't take the knockdown result, they'll get +3 attack back on you if you're also in the AoE. So like,
so it is strong.
it's kind of interesting.
Double-edged.
It's strong, but yeah, it's double-edged. Like your opponent's gonna have the ability to take advantage of that, which is kind of interesting. Like it's something you have to be very careful with, especially because morticians are really, really squishy. So +3 attack on a mortician model, that's pretty scary. So you got to be careful with that one.
So it's very strong cheap. And also very weak, kind of like a double-edged lightsaber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's interesting. Again, it's really, really cool design space. It speeds the game up for sure because lots of things are going to be dying if they're in that AoE.
So he's got you can be wingman any time. Choose a model of the same base size as this model. So 40 mil. After the model has performed its advance, the chosen model may make an advance of the same distance but in a mirrored direction. And that has infinite range.
Infinite range, yeah.
Nice.
And also I like that. So what I imagine is the cleanest way of resolving that on the table with the mirrored direction is you get a widget, put out where Dirge is going to go, and then get a mirror and put it down on the table, and then you can see where the exact angle that the other model can move at.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see no way of doing that really, isn't that?
I definitely recommend if you're going to be playing Veteran Dirge, a good widget to bring is a mirror widget. Because that will really help you play as cleanly as possible with this model.
Getting it to fit with Morticians, kind of mirror, kind of cover it in skulls and stuff, getting character.
Yeah. Like cover it in skulls, maybe trap a demon inside, so that the demon can sort of. I mean, obviously, the demon can't really give you advice while you're playing, but
cheating,
before
right?
the game, that would really be cheating. Certainly, I would have when I was a TO, I would have considered summoning help from the Nether dimension. Probably, it's not explicitly
it's
disallowed
not in the Zero Pack, is
in
it?
the rules.
I mean, that was taken out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not in the tournament, but we did take it out after season 1 because everyone was doing it and we couldn't stop it. But it's not technically cheating to summon an entity from the Nether realms to aid you, but it is frowned upon. And certainly most TOs would look pretty poorly on that. But you can ask the mirror questions, like mirror on the table. What's the health of my enemy's captain? And it'll just tell you. You don't even look at your opponent's cards. And also, if you do need to find a a stepdaughter of yours that's gone lost in a forest and is living with some dwarves. Really handy on that one too. So generally, get a mirror widget, especially if you're playing with Dirge. It's just a good thing to have, just in case.
Also, quite good while playing on stream, because everyone knows that the streaming cameras can't see these demons.
Yeah. Like,
well.
So that is
playing
useful.
at Worlds. You can't even see you do it.
Yeah. Like, no one knows. Like, that's the thing. Like, so yeah, definitely. I think an interesting play. Potentially really strong. Like, it lets you move Dirge up and pull a friendly model back at the same time. And if you sell your soul while you're doing that in order to get all sixes on Dirge's attack, again, not strictly very ethical, but technically legal, according to the tournament pack.
For when you finally want to win vengeance, for example.
Yeah.
See, that like,
sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you just have to make those sacrifices in order to win big tournaments. You know.
So his traits, we have live by the sword, die by the sword. Once per turn, when the model is reduced to 0 hit points, before suffering the taken out condition, this model may declare an attack, ignoring crowding out penalties. In addition, the number of successes will give you that amount of VP drained from your opponent. So it's kind of a bit like a sort of Obulus play there, a little bit.
Yeah, it's sort of like Obulus's legendary. I mean, obviously it's stronger in that it's a trait and not a legendary. But it's also weaker because you have to lose Dirge in order for it to trigger. And if he has no enemy models in his melee zone, then it's just wasted, right? So if he gets beat up by like farmers or someone that has a lot of 2-inch melee zones and he's not engaged with anyone, it's never going to trigger. So
it's situational.
Again, very situational. And I'm curious about the name because the model doesn't seem to have a sword.
That might
or certainly
then, I think, maybe.
Yeah, the artwork that I can see here, he certainly doesn't seem to have a sword, and I think that would really have added something to the model.
Yeah, well, these are still, sort of kind of fans rather than paid professionals, so I guess.
Yeah, which you can tell, like, the real mistakes like this that slip past. Giving a model a rule like live by the sword, die by the sword, and not giving the model a sword that's really a basic error, and you hate to see it. Quite frankly, but they'll figure it out. Like maybe next year they'll get it and they'll change up the artwork and we'll see a veteran Captain Dirge with hopefully some sort of claymore would be nice. Would love a big sword in the boy,
sort of like a William Wallace, but a giant evil black bird.
Exactly. Yeah. The giant evil black bird that lingers and hovers around everyone like an omen of doom, the way England hovers around the rest of the United Kingdom.
Makes me proud of English.
So I guess we look at the next trait. So Quoth the Raven, Nevermore, which it feels like that. So like the way it's written, it feels like it's a quote, but it isn't. It's not a quote from anything. I looked it up.
No, I don't think that's from anything.
No. And it's weird that Quoth the Raven Nevermore. It's just kind of meaningless, isn't it? Like,
isn't it spelt wrong? Isn't it quote as well, rather than quote?
Yeah, it should quote the Raven. I assume. I mean, maybe it's a raven called Quote saying Nevermore. I don't.
I mean, they could have put it through a spell check first, couldn't they? Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is again just like we saw in the last one, just basic errors, which you do hate to see on new cards. But I've certainly been on the other side of that, and sometimes playtesting happens, right? And yeah, mistakes creep through. I mean, I've had times where I've had 20 playtesters look at something, and I've looked at it, and Perkins has looked at it, and afterwards, it goes out, and there's a mistake on the card on day one, and it sucks, and I really feel for the guys, but it's fine. Maybe that's just a name change in an errata at some point, just to take out that completely meaningless name.
So once per turn, when the model suffers the taken out condition, the opponent may choose a friendly model on the pitch. That model now counts as being activated for the remainder of the round, as they now mourn the loss of their captain.
So that's pretty brutal for the Morticians player. The
thing is, it says may, so I think basically they may choose. So you look
It's
at
up to your
opponents,
opponent, right?
look a bit upset by this. Maybe start to sob slowly. Look at them and go, "You may do it, but do you want to win that way? Do you want to be that guy?" I think that's a
Yeah, I
sort
can
of
see that.
sportsmanship
Yeah.
angle there is quite important to push in Guild Ball, I think.
Yeah, and that's one where we've talked about the tactical mirror widget. That's where an onion widget is also really handy, so that like if your opponent looks at you and they're like, "Okay, I'm going to do this," you can just onion under the eyes, look and then like look up at them, and you got tears coming, your eyes are all red, and that will make them stop. I mean, certainly, and against all but the most heartless opponents, that would work.
And
So
fortunately, Guild
everyone,
Ball is quite free of people who win at all costs as well. It's not really in Guild Ball, is it? It's kind of all about the spirit of
no,
the game, so it's generally pretty fine for that.
no. I mean, the Germans are very good at spirit of the game, but they also don't understand emotions. So that one might be a bit difficult if you are playing like Timmy or Metz or someone in a finals, because and I assume that's where you're going to play them because that's where they live.
Well, they generally also they make sure they actually inhale onions for several weeks before tournaments, so it doesn't make them sort of
They're
themselves.
onions have no power
exactly.
over Germans.
Everyone knows that.
As the ancient lore states, for vampires you use garlic, Germans it's onions. Everyone knows that. It's basic stuff.
Finally, the legendary play, Master Puppets. Again, meaningless quote there. I'm not sure that's from. Choose a model.
Oh no, it's not meaningless. It's what do you call them? Megadeth song.
Megadeth. Yeah, of course. Megadeth. Choose any number of models within 2 pi inches of the model. Now, again, pi involved there. Now, I like, again, using irrational numbers in this because it means that your widget will always be slightly inaccurate.
Yeah. I mean, really, it gives widget manufacturers more opportunity to create new widgets for the game.
Because they have to make one that's infinitely accurate.
Yeah. And of course, you can never... Oh, there's someone else at the door. Jesus Christ.
So the chosen model may make a dodge, no, a jog, make a pass, or declare attack without spending influence. The chosen models are friendly models during the actions. During this action, the coach has to snicker and laugh maniacally or lose the game.
No, I think that's interesting because that's the kind of thing that Games Workshop tried when they brought out Age of Sigmar,
and that went down really well.
It went down really well, that's why you see everyone, because there's that one about whoever has the biggest beard gets to decide something that happens in the game.
Yeah.
And that's why you see everyone at Age of Sigmar events with those giant fake beards. And that's like, it's kind of interesting. So we'll see if the snicker and laugh, like, I don't know if the snicker meta is going to become a thing where people have to develop a more impressive snicker.
I think
to one up their opponents.
There's also a problem with
definitely
targeting there. You might have someone, for example, who laughs a bit quietly or too loudly. I think the tournament patch should actually having it sort of sanctioned levels of laughter,
like a decibel meter.
Otherwise, I mean, are they snickering enough?
Yeah, exactly.
Because too loud, distracting the opponent. It could be easily.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't want to do bad sportsmanship by snickering too loudly.
No.
And that's really. What if you eat a Snickers bar? Does that count? Does that count as snickering?
Well, it's snicker, not Snickers. Is Snickers a verb? I'm going to snicker.
Well, if you only eat one, then it's just one Snicker. That's how it works.
A singular Snickers bar is referred to as a Snicker.
Yeah, that's math.
I'm aware of that.
Like, come on, it's a Snicker bar and
That's
two
just maths,
Snickers
isn't it?
bars.
I guess that's just math.
Yeah, there's a lot of maths on this card, and really, I think that's another part where the maths is coming into play. So, I mean, I guess I would try. I mean, I'd try it out and see what the TO's judgment. If you just ate a Snicker, while you were resolving the legendary play, like.
So let's go through the keywords at the end. So it's good to know as a captain, obviously, the Ravens, we can see. Fighter jet.
Helpful. Has those synergies with the fighters, the Navy, not the Navy, the Air Force Guild. I don't know. I don't think it's a dual guild model, but maybe one day in some sort of alternative format, you would want the fighter jet keywords. Particularly, you would also want it if you ever needed to bomb anyone from a very high height, because this model is certainly going to be much cheaper than a normal fighter jet. So it's kind of a budget option if you ever want to bomb someone.
On the scale of sort of naught to veteran bore, where 0 is not balanced at all, and veteran bore is the height of balance, where do you think Dirge is?
I think it's probably about 3.14 on that scale.
So
I think
not quite pi, because you didn't say forever, the number forever. So kind of
no, I didn't say the number. I didn't say the number forever, because I don't think that would make a very interesting podcast. Actually, that's how we should end the podcast. Would just be me
reading out pi until
just reading out
out.
pi until at some point, yeah, it just fades out at the end. But yeah, I've forgotten the question. So
have I, to be honest.
yeah, 3.14. I don't think it matters, but yeah.
Skaldic. So is there some synergies there with the sort of national teams?
Maybe, I can't remember.
Neither can I. I was hoping you would do.
No, I think the national teams. I think Skaldic. Who's Skaldic?
Didn't you win with Skaldic? Wasn't Skaldic the one you won with?
No, I won with Mauld.
You were Mauld.
The heroic Scottish boys of the Guild Ball universe. I won with Mauld, even though Perkins was at one point 11-6 up, and I saw him. He thought he'd won, and he stopped paying attention. And I was like, "No, you fool! There's still a win on the table here. If I roll real good," and I did.
Other keywords we have unofficial fan art. Not unofficial.
I mean, I'm not sure.
Unofficial.
Yeah, not unofficial. Unofficial.
Is that more official than unofficial? Or is that less official than unofficial?
I think it's less official because it's not even the official spelling of the word unofficial.
So it's not even fan art. It's below fan art. Or is it above fan art?
It's below fan art. Yeah, it's nothing. Like it's garbage technically.
And finally, April Fool's joke.
Wait, are you saying this model's an April? I've been taking time. I've done this as
Let's go.
Yep.
Go.
Okay, so the digits of pi to end out the podcast and gently fade into that good night. 3.141592 653 323 846 2643 383 2795 02 884 expand image. Click to expand image. That's the end.
Actually, the last number of pi, isn't it? Everyone knows that. Thank you.